Welcome back to my channel. This is the Raymundo Show. Today we're talking about slithery snakes and serpents because today is Ancient Wisdom Wednesdays, my new segment where we talk about old occult theology, mythology, and other ancient wisdom that you might need to know about the unseen world. Today we're talking about serpents. And as always, this message is coming to you on the highest vibration for the good of all and for the glory of God. So serpents, are they healers? Are they demons? Are they guardians of the elements? Whether you like them or hate them, snakes play an important part in the collective consciousness, and they have for thousands of years. Snakes are one of the oldest archetypes that anthropologists and paleontologists actually recognize across many cultures. There's all kinds of serpents: sky serpents, water serpents, earth serpents. But where did this archetype come from? In some of the oldest cultural traditions in the world, snakes were revered as gods of creation. In Hindu mythology, the Nagas were serpentine demigods that were half human, half snake, and they emerged from underneath the earth with ancient knowledge that they brought for humankind. And Hindu tradition also tells a tale of a great world serpent called Shisha, which floated in a cosmic ocean and allowed the creation god Vishnu to rest upon her once he made the world. So in these legends, we see that the snake was revered as a symbol of stability, eternity, and latent power, or a state of dormancy, because of the way snakes hibernate during the winter. Aboriginal Australian tradition has a central figure called the rainbow serpent, which is the physical embodiment of God in the form of a huge rainbow. All Aborigine traditions adhere to a creation story which they call the dreaming, that tells a tale of how the rainbow serpent carved mountains and rivers into the land with its body through its winding movements. The rainbow serpent connects sky, the water, and the earth, and is a fundamental representation of God himself. Before the rainbow serpent traveled across the land, the world was flat, desolate, and boring. Chinese dragons have a similar connection to the water and the sky. In Chinese tradition, dragons are a central trademark. They represent the ambivalent, powerful forces of nature itself. For that reason, in many Eastern traditions, dragons are a symbol of imperial authority and are often even prayed to as deities. But when you think of serpents, you probably don't always think of them as benevolent. In the book of Job, Leviathan is not any garden snake. He's a great demon lord from under the depths of the ocean. Leviathan represents cosmic order and primordial chaos. Only God is said to be able to subdue him. And as everyone knows, in the book of Genesis, the snake in the garden tempts Eve by giving her the fruit of knowledge. In this way, snakes are often seen as a trickster or a guardian of secrets. Some interpretations of the Hebrew Bible even represent the snake as sinful or devilish. But in many translations of the Old Testament, the snake is not connected with the devil. In fact, some scholars believe the snake was more of a symbol of enlightenment and maybe even a symbol of God himself. Regardless of this, in the modern day, most people associate snakes with terror.
At it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson. Snakes are not only present in ancient theology and mythology. Snakes are actually very common in popular psychology today. My favorite philosopher and psychologist, Carl Jung, wrote extensively about snake imagery in dreams. Jung recognized serpents as one of the oldest psychological archetypes. He concluded that serpents can be interpreted in dreams in 6 different ways: as an instinctual force representing the unconscious mind, as primitive, primal, sexual, or creative energy, as an omen of transformation or renewal, as a representation of hidden mystic wisdom, as a cautionary symbol about dangerous impulses, or as a powerful psychological symbol of healing and regeneration. This concept of snakes as a symbol of healing comes from their ability to shed their skin. In this way, snakes have come to serve as a symbol of illness and old identities shedding away to be replaced by something new. That's why this common symbol used in modern medicine, called the caduceus, has snakes in its imagery. But wait, so are snakes healers? Are they demons? Are they the devil himself? Or are they ancient guardians of rivers and life sustaining rain? That answer is really up for you to decide, because for some people, snakes give them the heebie jeebies. And other people, like me, think snakes are really cool. Just remember, if snakes are appearing in your dreams at night, that doesn't necessarily mean that your brain is trying to tell you that something scary is happening. But what it's probably trying to tell you is that something deep in your subconscious is awakening. The reason I made this video today was to honor a dream that I had back in January that was sent to me by my subconscious, but maybe by my ancestors. My grandmother and grandfather appeared in this dream, and so did a giant snake. I'm going to read it to you now from my Substack page, which is called DREAMLines. You can search it in the description below. Chapter 4, The Sister. The sun shone warm and welcoming on my face. I was home. The gentle waves rocked the proa in a slow, familiar rhythm as my grandfather guided us back toward the shore. The water was clear and shallow, alive with light. Yards away, a tiny spinner dolphin leapt from the glistening sea and splashed back down, joyful and quick. I watched a small team of them race north along the edge of the reef. Beyond the dolphins, the water changed. Bright blue-green softened into indigo, then fell abruptly into a staunch, lightless black, an unmistakable boundary, the edge of my known universe. I imagined the dark chasm swallowing the sea like a storm drain, everything pulled down and away. I wished to stay far from that line, far from the darkness, and well within the reef. To me, the reef was safety, family, peace, sunlight. My grandfather spoke, though I couldn't see his face through the hazy gold glare of the sun. See there, boy? He pointed northeast toward the shoreline. The first thing I noticed was the mountain. I had climbed to the peak of her once, as many pilgrims had since the beginning of time, to come closer to the divine. My gaze traced downward along her slopes, into palm-filled canyons and trickling waterfalls. The island swayed gently in the breeze. It breathed. And then I understood. What I was seeing was not the land, not the trees. It was enormous. Don't be too loud, my grandfather said softly. You might wake it. As we skimmed across the sandy shallows, I stared at the massive amber mound resting on the beach, coiled, armored, scaled. It was the size of a cathedral. It rose and fell with slow, steady breath and the same calm rhythm as the wind and the waves. I shifted my attention to a squat, round woman standing at the shore, waving a machete in the air. Like my grandfather, I couldn't see her face, but I knew it was my Nana. My grandfather jumped into the clear water. My grandmother waded in through the gentle foam, machete still in hand. Tata tossed her a line. Nana tugged as he pushed the proa by the rigger. Together they hauled the boat and me onto the sun-dappled shore. Instantly and miraculously, a lopped-off coconut appeared in my hand, and a pink plastic straw poked from its center. Drink, Ninny, she said. She raised her machete again, chop, 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 and stripped the husk from another lime-green coconut. Nana handed it to Tata. We stood quietly, slurping, the sweetness cool and grounding. After a moment, my grandfather broke the silence, gesturing toward the giant serpent on the shore. I didn't understand most of their words, but Tata spoke with his whole body, hands, brows, lips moving together in a language all their own. Then I heard Nana repeat a phrase, Ichetlu Napalawan. She nodded toward the serpent, his sister. My grandfather turned to me. Don't go near it, boy, it's dangerous. As if that weren't obvious. The creature could have swallowed me whole without noticing. I wouldn't have made a satisfying midnight snack. It looked capable of digesting a herd of water buffalo and still wanting more. Nana and Tata continued chatting in Chamorro, English words popping in and out. They were calm, unbothered, completely unthreatened by the massive snake only paces away. I kept thinking about the word sister. I didn't have a sister, just a brother and many cousins. I loved them all in different ways. None of them, as far as I knew, were destined to become enormous serpents. And yet, if she truly were my sister, I thought, then maybe she was simply misunderstood. Maybe she'd had a long, strange journey to end up here on this tiny island. I imagined her rising from the dark chasm beyond the reef, drawn upward by warmth and light, coming ashore not to hunt, but to rest. After all, it was a beautiful beach, peaceful, sunlit, a good place to sleep if I were a snake. Thank you for coming to today's message. I hope that you liked Ancient Wisdom Wednesday. If this video doesn't make it up on Wednesday, I do apologize. I'm filming a little bit later in the day because I had a busy day. If you don't mind, leave a comment in the comments box below. Top or bottom, the serpent carved the world out of its winding movements. Oh my god. I'm never gonna finish this fucking video. I can't do this. I can't do this. I know.